Hello, this is Bonnie, and today I'm going to be sharing with you Fairy Hug's brand new release that is the background paper that they offer, and this is going to be available May 2nd and 3rd, and you'll be able to see the new release on the craft store, which is formerly Hochanda, and that's also going to be on May 2nd and 3rd, and there are 8 brand new cardstocks. They come in a 6x6 inch format, and they're really good quality card. You can hear how thick it is. It's a very good quality cardstock, and it's printed fabulously too. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead through the 8 that are going to be released, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a card showing how well it stamps. Okay, so this one here is called, I'm going to tell you what each one is Blue Brilliance. And I'm also going to be pulling out some of the new releases. These are all sneak peeks. They're not going to be available until May 2nd and 3rd. And this one, which would look really great on this in any color, in white. You could stamp it in white. And this one is called Mermaid Door. And then the next one we have, this one is called the new stamps. These are all new stamps, new release, same with the paper. This one's called Wiggles, and the paper is called Blue Bubbles. And it, again, would look great stamped in black or stamped in white. And you can see the texture. I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the texture on here and what it looks like. That it's not obviously really textured, it's just cardstock, but it has the look of texture and bubbles. The same with this one. If you look close at that, you can see how really nice the paper looks. So those are the first 2. And the first 2, now this is an older stamp. You can get this right away as long as it's available in the store. And this is Raphael. He is the swimming sea turtle, and he would look fabulous on this paper. And this paper is called Purple Paradise. And it's got a fuchsia and a purple tone to it. And again, you can see the texture that you get on these papers as well. And then the next one we have, this one's Oscar, and he was released, actually he was released last year, but he looks fabulous in these papers as well, and he is currently available in the store, and that's Oscar. And this new paper is called Seaweed Puddles. And again, I'm going to show you the texture that you get on these, the look of texture. And this is what he could look like on here. And then we have, this is the new release, and this one's a seahorse, and the name is Sandy. And the new paper is called Sea Fair, and you can use this anyway. And again, the texture on this, you can see it looks, you can see the bubbles, and Sandy looks really great on this paper, and you could use it either way. It doesn't matter which way you want to use this paper. It would look great. And then the last, or not the last one, the next one is I am using, this was the example actually, is Sunken Ship. Again, it's a past release, and this is also available in the store currently. It comes with an anchor. And this paper is called Sea Cavern. And again, I'm going to show you the texture on that. You know, all the different bubbles. Again, this can be used any way. It can be used any way at all. And just go ahead and show you again. You can put things in the center, and then on this side you could actually make it white if you want to when you go to stamp things. It looks really great. And the next one I have, this one is also new, and it's called Shell Door. And it looks really great. If you want to have all the different colors showing through, everything you can see that shows through is how it would actually stamp. And just turning this around gives you different colors. behind the shell, and that's really cool if you can see. Using the examples for your stamps always lets you know where it's a great place to stamp them and what you'll get, so that's kind of fun. This paper is called Sea Diving. So again, it can be used in any direction, and you can see the details and the looks of texture in that. So those are the first 7. The last one I want to show you, I am going to actually be making a card for you if you want to stick around to watch that. And I've got several new stamps on here. This one is called Marina, and that's our mermaid. And then we have the fish school, and there's several different fish, and you can see all the different details in the fish. And then we also have teeny ocean icons. This is another version. We have another version. This is about 1 inch, or not quite 1 inch. I don't think I said this the other day about what size these were, and I think they're about 3/4, almost an inch, 3/4 of an inch maybe. And then we have ones that are larger, and they're called mini. These are called teeny, and you get 6, or you can buy the individual ones that are minis, and they're about this big, about 1.5 inches. So they make really good combinations, but we are just releasing these for the first time. And then we also have a new anchor. Whoops, I got it the other way around. And it's got a lot of really wonderful details to it. And you can actually color this one in. And then this is not a brand new release. This was just released in April. And this one is called Water Fountain. And you can see it's rather large. It actually measures about 4 inches by about 3.5 inches. And it would look wonderful on the new paper. And this new paper is called Deep Blue Sea. And again, I'm going to show you the texture on that, the look of texture and colors. And it could be used in any way again. And my plan for this is I'm going to go ahead, you can see how the water will show through on this particular stamp, and that makes it really kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up. I'm going to be using this paper for an example so you can see how great you can stamp on this paper. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get stamping. I'm going to be using Fairy Hugs Premium Pigment Raven Black ink, and this is the first time I have stamped up this image, and so I'm going to have, just to let you know how things go yourself when you get an image for the first time or a stamp for the first time. It obviously needs to be stamped several times before it really gives a good impression. It's kind of like the way brand new stamps are, and you'll be able to see that with the other ones I've used them. This is the first time I've used the Water Fountain. And I know I'm going to have to stamp this more than once. Okay, let's see how that looked. That's really pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it just one more pass. And just wanted you to understand that sometimes brand new stamps can be a little bit of a... But with this juicy ink pad, it worked really well. Now what I do, and you know if you have watched my videos before, is I always heat emboss my images with clear embossing powder. I don't need to, I just like to in case I want to add any kind of color with my colored pencils or anything. I don't have to worry about messing up the ink that I've stamped. Yes, that is just absolutely gorgeous. I want to see if you can see all the details in there. It's just beautiful. And I love the background that I have on there with that paper. So I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so the next one I'm going to be stamping is Marina. And again, I'm using the same ink. Okay, she stamped really well, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp her one more time. There's some spots that are a little bit lighter. It's harder for me to see when I leave the ink on the stamp, what's there and what's not there. But it seems to be a better way to go, not to clean the stamps off too much. Okay, that's a really good print. Now you can see how beautiful she stamped as well and the details. And I am going to go ahead right now and stamp these other two things because they're fairly small and I can do that fairly quickly. I'm going to have the turtle coming swimming to her. And she can hold a lot of different things. She can hold any of, or things can be coming to her, or she can be holding several things. And you will notice that when you see the detail, the DT, the design team cards that will be featured on the craft store. And also if you go to Fairy Stamper Hugs at Facebook, or if you go to Fairy Hugs on Facebook, you will be able to see a lot of the examples using these new stamps. Okay, that was the second pass for that. You can see how beautiful he stamped. I'm going to do one more stamp, and then I'm going to heat emboss them. And I'm going to be doing, there is an upside and a downside to these fish. If you look close, they have a little eye, and the eye goes up. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, how you stamp them, but there is a way for that they are up and down. And you'll like the details on these as well. I'll go ahead and get those stamped. And another thing about these fish is they can be continuous. You can stamp the way they fit. They actually, I can't show you on this particular card, but there's a way where you can actually make them look like there's a longer group of fish by putting them together, stamping them twice. There's a way to do that, and it looks really good. And you can be looking forward to seeing that in some of the design team samples, card samples. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to stamp it one more time, but the detail on these are beautiful. And if you ink them up too much, you lose the detail. Yeah, I lost a little bit of the detail by doing that set 2 times. But you can see they are really beautiful little fish, and they're all different. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and heat emboss those, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all of those stamped and heat embossed with clear embossing powder. And again, you can come back in here with gel pens, with colored pencil, and you can color in any of these spots if you wanted to add color. You can also come in with your glue pen and add glitter by just going around them, or putting a little bit of glue on top of them and adding that, which I probably do with the water. And I'll probably add a little bit along the fish line. But I just wanted you to see how great that they stamp on this paper. And I am going to be completing the card and showing you that also at the beginning. When you first start watching, you'll see what I ended up doing in terms of completing the card. The next thing I wanted to show you is I also like to layer up on my cards. And so I'm going to be stamping the anchor on just regular cardstock. And then I'm going to be coloring that in and fussy cutting this out and placing that on top of the card. I'm going to be placing the anchor right here. I want you to see how great these stamped. You can see it's super gorgeous, a lot of detail, and this allows you to do some coloring. Now, if you didn't want to do a lot of coloring, what you can do is, and if you still want to color it out, is you can put your ink on first, like if I wanted to put Distress Oxide on first, and stamp on top of that. That way I wouldn't have to do any coloring at all if I didn't want to. Or I can just stamp this on top directly in what I'm doing. I wanted it to be layered, and I didn't want to have to make a mask, so I'm going to be stamping it and coloring it and then cutting it out, which is extra steps. But I just wanted you to show you the detail that you can get on just regular cardstock also, and then adding your own coloring if you want to, and that works really good. I am going to go ahead and stamp the fish school again. I really do want you to see the detail on that, and I might be able to use this another place on another card. And it's because I stamped it twice, and like I said, whenever you have fine details, you're really better off only being able to stamp something once. So we'll see what we can do this time. I just really wanted you to see how sweet these little fish are. Okay. There we go. There we go. I just want you to see, they're just, I mean, each one of them is just, has the sweetest look to them and the details. So I just wanted you to see that. If you double stamp lots of times, then you could lose some of that detail, but hopefully if your ink pad is juicy enough, you won't have to do double stamping. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color this in, and I'm going to attach that to the card. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that that's what I'm going to be doing for right now, because I've done this before for you. I just really wanted to introduce you to all the different papers that are available right now. And like I said at the beginning, I will show you what the finished card looks like. And again, I want to show you the cards just to remind you that these are what are available coming May 2nd. And you have a lot of choices. They don't have to be sea-oriented. As you can tell, they can be any fairy-oriented cards. They're just really, really fun to work with. So I hope you enjoyed that. And please subscribe if you can, and like this. The DT will have more for you coming up real soon. Thank you for stopping by.